This is Andi Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by trainer Dominic Ingle here in Miami in the immediate aftermath of Demetrius Andrade's victory against Liam Williams. Dominic, obviously your charge falling short tonight. Just your reflections on the fight.
Yeah, no, it was a tough fight. Very slippery and elusive. Andrade, probably more slippery than we expected. We had a plan. Liam got caught in the second, got up from a heavy knockdown and got through the next 10 rounds, and he kept pushing all the way. Unfortunately, he just couldn't nail Andrade clean. He clipped him once or twice, maybe had him in trouble, but just couldn't capitalise on it, and he got outpointed wide. So, it's the way it goes. We came over here, did the best job he could do, but, he's a quality operator, Andrade, and you can see that. And, Liam's got to go back to the drawing board and start again.
There was a lot of talk before the fight about how couldn't allow Demetrius to settle into his rhythm. Had a very good first round and obviously dropping Liam in the second. How much did that change your game plan?
No, well, listen, it always changes the game plan when you get dropped, but, he stuck to it. He kept trying to close him down. But, when he did have any success, Andrade immediately tied him up. The referee let it go a bit longer than usual. And, it wasn't the easiest fight to get through, but Liam tried his best. He came with a plan, he came with the aggression. He got through the 12 rounds. I think he gave a good account of himself. Like them type of fights is always going to be difficult for people like Liam Williams who wants to stand another fight.
Going in against Demetrius, what in particular of his assets kind of surprised you the most that he did better than what you maybe thought beforehand?
No, what you see is what you get. He's very slippery, very elusive, throws shots from good angles, loves the right uppercut, loves the overhand right, and he can switch. And he caught Liam, good move. He boxed orthodox, switched out on him with the right, left, dropped him. So he's very, flexible in what he does, and he's very slippery. He's just hard to hit clean, and he did a really good job of that all the way through. It was a massive ring, and he used it to his advantage. And that fair play to him. It wasn't pretty at some times, at some points in that fight, what he did, but he did what he got to do to win, and that's he still got the W, and that's what matters in boxing.
Dominic, one shot in particular which people back home continue to pick up on was the uppercut. Just your thoughts on that and that type of shot from Demetrius?
Yeah, it's an hard shot to listen. It's always going to be an hard shot to cover. That's the shot that you're going to hit somebody with a tight guard. He's very good at that, dipping outside, throwing the right uppercut. It was a shot that was working for him. It's his signature shot. It's a very hard shot to block. No matter what. And the way he disguises it as well, you can't, it's a difficult shot. You've either got to be away from it or right on top of it. But, Liam took him well. It's just one of those shots, we've practiced that, and he got hit with a lot less in that fight than he did actually in sparring. But it's just one of those shots, you either get past them or you don't.
Coming into the fight, Dom, what was the initial game plan? How did you actually want Liam to approach the fight?
Yeah, you got to close him down, keep close to him, not give him the space. And Demetrius was always trying to find space, and that's what he did. He kept the distance. Liam tried to close him down the best he could. When he did, he caught him with shots. But that's his game plan. He's very elusive. He doesn't mind how he gets through the fight. He didn't engage a lot. He threw combinations, maybe worked for half a minute of a round and then ran for the rest. But that's the way you do it. I think if he'd have suffered any point with Liam continuously, Liam would have caught him, but he never allowed that to happen.
And obviously he's in your fighter, but after the fight they said Charlo Golovkin for Demetrius. How do you think he would fare against one of those?
Listen, he's got to be. I think the best version of Andrade will be Golovkin, because he's. I think at 39, he's coming to the end of it. Golovkin now, his resistance and his timing is less. He can still punch, but that kind of fighter is all wrong for Golovkin. Different back in the day when he was younger. It would have been an harder job for Andrade, but he's coming into it. He's in his prime. He's still in his prime, and Golovkin's coming out of it. Charlo is probably too slippery for Charlo as well. Charlo likes to stand and have a fight. I don't think he'll be able to hit Andrade. Them type of fighters, the hit and move fighters, are always going to be difficult for any fighter. And look at Floyd Mayweather, the way he's adapted to it and utilised it through his career against big fighters like Canelo. All the way through his career unbeaten. And if you've got that style and that ability to do it, great, do it. It's the best way to fight.
Final thing, what's next for Liam?
Listen, back to the drawing board. You've got Francis Warren in there, and we'll have a look for another international opponent. He's got a child born in a month's time. He's worked hard all the way through lockdown. This is his second world title fight. I think he gave a good account of himself considering the circumstances, and he'll be back. He showed today how tough he is. Obviously, getting dropped in the second, his conditioning was supreme. He got back up again and forced the pace as much as he could all the way through the fight. So he's not disheartened. He's a bit disappointed, but he'll be back and hopefully back to winning ways.
Dom, I appreciate your time this week. Safe travels back to the UK, and I'll hopefully see you on May 8th if Galad Dickens does land on that.
No problem, thanks.